actually works. Your gut is how your body processes everything that you consume. Stop ignoring the signs. It's time to do something real. Get Viome and fix your gut now. Dial *gut to get $110 off any test. That's *488 to receive a link to the offer.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horns. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. It's the Morning Kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns. 1300 The Zone. Baseball season is here, and the Round Rock Express are ready to take the field. Hear all the action right here on 1300 The Zone, whether you're at home.
Good morning, Austin, K-Town, Pflugerville, H-Town, Pearland, Bastrop, Leander, and Silsbee, Texas, or wherever you may be listening. This is a Feel Good Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. March Madness is underway, and yes, we already have some upsets. The Texas women's basketball team gets ready for their run for a national championship. It's a huge weekend on the 40 acres. Along with basketball, we've got softball and baseball as they begin the second weekend of SEC. R.T. Young of Inside Texas talks about his new book, Longhorn Alphabet. We have LSU legend Ben McDonald coming on to talk Texas and LSU at 8 a.m. Zach Sims of OrangeBloods.com talks Texas baseball as well. And Chip Brown of Horns 24/7, my old co-host, joins me today to talk the coaching search for the University of Texas at 8:34. I am your host, Mike Hardball Hardge. My co-host is a WWE Hall of Famer, and he's recognized as the world's strongest man. He is the Mark Henry, but he is on the road, so I'm solo dolo today. Mark is on a trip to DJ. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit as well. And if you want to be a part of the show, all you got to do is text the word Texas followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. That's the word Texas followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. And if you want to voice your opinion, all you got to do is leave us a message by using that talkback feature on the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Obviously, you're listening to us on the app right now. You've already got us in your presets. And if you don't have us in your presets, what is wrong with you? And number two, you can find out so much more over there on our podcast page. And if you missed the shows yesterday, you missed a great show, and we'll talk about that, and I'll tell you some of the people that were on. But we'll receive your message instantly if you use that talkback feature, and you might even be part of the show. As you know, March Madness is underway. A lot to dive into, but one of the biggest stories that is out there. Nope. Not going to talk about McNeese State right away. Come on, man. That was outstanding work by them. They went out there and did their thing. I like it. But the stories from yesterday that stood out to me is now we got a matchup of two old friends that are going to be going up against each other. That's right. St. John's handled their business against Omaha, 83-53. That's not the story. We expected that to happen. They're the number 2 seed. Rick Pitino has done an unbelievable job of getting things done with that squad. If you've seen some of his behind the scenes, there's a story, a show that is following St. John's. So you get to get into the locker room. You get to see the way he talks to his team. He tells them they're not very good. If you want to play in the NBA, these are the things you got to do. All this great stuff, right? But they have shown up. They have turned that program around. Rick Pitino has done an unbelievable job, but we know Rick Pitino is a great coach. And now here we go. But the other story is Arkansas number 10 seed, SEC team, got into the tournament, and they had to take on Kansas, the number 7 seed. Kansas out of the Big 12. Arkansas defeats Kansas 79-72 to set up a meeting between John Calipari and Rick Pitino. Old school coaches that just handled their business. And now they get to face off in one of the legendary coaching sideline pairing that is out there. But I want to talk about Kansas a little bit. Kansas is in a tough place with Bill Self. Bill Self, obviously, legendary Hall of Fame coach, and he's been great his entire career. But I believe this is the first year that Kansas was not the marquee team in the tournament. It's been a while when we were talking about Kansas and Kansas being out of the tournament in the first game. Kansas finishes its season 21-13. They made it a close game. They rallied. But this is where Kansas basketball is right now. Kansas's streak of 17 consecutive first-round tournament victories ended yesterday. And this marked the third time that their coaches had met up, John Calipari and Bill Self, going up against each other. Kansas Jayhawks defeated Calipari in Memphis in a title game, 2008, while Calipari's Kentucky Wildcats beat Kansas in 2012. But I'm curious to what's going to happen with Kansas basketball. Kansas used to be the premier team. They could get anybody they wanted because they were different. Now with recruiting being equal, you paid all that money for Hunter Dickinson to come to Kansas, who, by the way, he's been in college since my kid was born, and he's 16. So he's been in there for a long time. And I'm just curious to what's going to happen moving forward as far as the landscape of college basketball with this performance of Kansas. But the big story is McNeese. McNeese getting the dub right away. They're the story. Their coach is leaving. Their trainer's got an NIL deal with multiple people. Their team manager has now gotten NIL deals with restaurants, with ticket locations, just craziness that is happening with this deal. But McNeese, the number 12, beats number 5, ACC Clemson. And now we understand that March Madness is here. Going into this game, I had no idea what was going to happen. And the only reason why I didn't have any idea is because their coach, Will Wade, the head coach of McNeese State, took a job right before the tournament started. And now they're in the tournament, and he's coaching them. And they went out and played hard, but I was curious to what was going to happen. That's why I was a little hesitant. Are they going to turn their back on him like he did to them? But there's a plot twist to this whole thing. Will Wade is very transparent. He told everybody, I'm taking this job. I'm going to NC State. But it doesn't have to be a distraction. You know why? Because kids see things on the internet. They talk. And he said the best way for me to do it was just to tell them what was going on, and we'll see what's up.
We address it head on. I talked to him Saturday about it. I said, here's where it is. Here's where we are. They talked about some of their portal stuff with me. We sat in a room. It was just me and our players, and we all talked about it. So I'm aware of what they've got going on. They're aware of what we've got going on, and you just hit it head on. So we're all on the same page with everything. Just tell it like it is. You may not always like what I got to say, but I'm going to tell you what I think. So I've always kind of been like that, and there's no need to hide it. The guys are reading it on social media. I mean, it's no secret, and I'm not going to ask them to do something I'm not willing to do. And so, mean, it's no good if you don't address it. And if you sit there and BS them, they know they can read right through the BS. So you might as well just, hey, this is what it is. And here we are, and we'll figure it out.
How many brackets are busted now? How many brackets are busted? I am proud of Will Wade, and I'm proud of his team because they came out and was ready to play and made things happen. There were so many other teams that got an opportunity to get dubs. One of those teams was Drake. Drake went out and got their victory. And the funny part about that is Drake is a team, and we've talked about it. This was a team that is made up of Division II and Division III players. They got it out the mud. They found a way to get it done, and now they move on to the next round. And it just goes to show you, number one, more experience on your team is going to help you, obviously. Mature teams will be able to do that. But most importantly, if you can hoop, you're going to get an opportunity to hoop. If you can do that, you're going to get a chance to make some money in this business. Those guys have been found. That coach brought some guys out of there. And that is why that Will Wade being transparent with his team, did he just tamper with his team and say, hey, the portal's going to be open. Y'all might be able to make a ride with me to North Carolina State. This whole McNeese story is fascinating to me, from the manager to the head coach. And, oh, yeah, those players went out and balled out. We got a big show for you folks right here on the Morning Kickoff. When we come back, we're going to continue the conversations as the Texas women's basketball teams get ready for their opponent. They found out last night who it was going to be, and we'll talk about it right here on a Feel Good Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Baseball season is here, and the Round Rock Express are ready to take the field. Hear all the action right here on 1300 The Zone. Whether you're at home or on the road, stay connected with Round Rock Express Baseball, live on 1300 The Zone.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards celebrated the music and artists you've loved listening to all year on iHeartRadio. Brought to you by Jeep.
It's now streaming on Hulu for a limited time.
Bad Bunny,
Billie Eilish,
Glorilla,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly,
your host, LL Cool J,
plus Lady Gaga,
Mariah Carey,
Gracie Abrams,
and iHeartRadio's Tour of the Century Award, honoring Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards.
Streaming now on Hulu.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Well, good morning. We do have an accident reported at Airport Boulevard at 7th Street. Also, another accident reported at McNeil Drive near West Palmer Lane. No delays on either of those wrecks. We do have a slight delay, some stop-and-go traffic for you. 35 northbound between FM 1626 and William Cannon Drive, about a 9-minute delay. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell, Divorce and Family Law. CordellCordell.com. 866-323-7529. 866-323-7529. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Second opinions.
You get them with your health.
So why not with your wealth?
Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion.
At Henyon & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Henyon & Walsh, the second opinion people. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henyon & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henyon & Walsh Inc., member FINRA SIPC.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $1,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
When you partner with CDW, your people get more out of technology. CDW data experts are simplifying complex workloads with high-speed AMD processors, which helps your project managers efficiently manage heavier workflows. Game designers level up creativity, and scientists develop their next breakthrough. Amazing, right? Make amazing happen. AMD and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/AMD.
Tractor Supply knows that a winning season takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when you have a neighbor like Tractor Supply, teamwork comes easy. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, our team members will help you succeed. Season after season, Tractor Supply, for life out here.
March is here, and it's time for tip-off. Are you ready for wall-to-wall basketball? Specs has got you covered. With a huge selection of handcrafted brews, canned cocktails, and top-shelf spirits, Specs is the perfect assist for your game day celebration. Take a time out and feed the fans with Specs sweet and salty gourmet snacks. It's time to crash the boards, and Specs is your sixth man. Specs, the fun starts here.
Ever wake up feeling lousy, knowing something is off with your body? You don't have time for guesswork. You need Viome. Forget all the generic health fads. Viome doesn't tell you what you want to hear. It tells you what's actually going on inside your body. By analyzing your gut microbiome, Viome delivers a custom health plan that's as unique as your DNA. It's science, not nonsense. Want energy? Want better digestion? Viome has your back. Stop trusting amateurs. Go to Viome.com for a personalized gut professional now. Call StarStar Gut to get $110 off any test. That's StarStar 488 to receive a link to the offer.
Did you know Factory Mattress has over 6,000 five-star local reviews? Factory Mattress carries all the major brands at the guaranteed lowest price and has free next-day delivery and setup. But this week only, instead of charging you a pickup fee for your old mattress like other companies do, Factory Mattress is doing an exclusive $100 trade-in allowance, even if you didn't buy it from us. The best customer reviews and the lowest prices.
My Factory Mattress.
College basketball back in the spotlight. March hoops will have everyone talking.
You think you know what's going to happen, but it never goes as scripted.
Lock in Fox Sports Radio is your number one preset on the iHeartRadio app for the hottest takes.
We're going to have a 72-team tournament in the next couple of years.
And complete tournament coverage. Plus, binge on-demand podcast with The Dan Patrick Show, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and more. From tip-off to the final buzzer, search college basketball on the iHeartRadio app to stay in the know.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Texas Longhorns.
In the next segment, we'll be joined by R.T. Young of Inside Texas as he has written this book that you can see right here if you're on looking. I will post it on my social media in just a moment. But we're going to talk about this book, beautiful book for the children. And you might even learn something yourself while you're reading it. We'll talk about it in the next segment. But the Texas women found out who they were going to play last night as William and Mary defeated High Point 63-69 at the Moody Center in the play-in game, the women's version of the play-in game. And now Texas understands who they start the tournament off with. And this is big, too, because, number one, you work all season long, and you truly want to earn a spot, number one, in the tournament. Number two, you want to make sure you got a good seeding. And if you're lucky enough and you got a good seeding and you become one of those better teams, you get a chance to play at home. And that's what Vic Schaefer was talking about, the excitement of being able to play at home in front of your home fans.
I'd love to have them. You know, we need them. I think our team deserves it. They're a fun team to watch. You know, they've been that way all year. They play the game the right way. They honor the game. They respect the game. And so I really hope we'll get a 10, 11,000 crowd for both our games. I mean, it's what they deserve.
And more than enough of an opportunity for what they deserve. So I'm sure there's going, with all the activities that will be going on this weekend around the university, I'm sure that there will be a lot of folks in attendance to support this team, which has a trio of Associated Press All-Americans. Madison Booker earned first team All-American honors. Roy Harmon and Taylor Jones earned All-American honorable mention. This is the thing that I love about this. Obviously, Madison Booker We know what she's been able to do wearing the number 35. I believe at some point her numbers will be in the rafters as well. I believe Rory Harmon's number is going to be in the rafters. But I've been talking about this for quite some time. Taylor Jones, who is a finalist for the Lisa Leslie Center of the Year Award, what she's been able to do in this half of her career, this season, she was able to be a huge impact to the success of this team. It takes away a little bit from Madison Booker having to tote that load the entire time. Rory Harmon being the point guard that she is. She's one of 5 finalists for the Nancy Lieberman Point Guard of the Year Award, and she's a semifinalist for the Defensive Player of the Year Award. Add that to Madison Booker, who all she does is gets awards. She's just that talented. She's done some amazing things. She was also SEC Player of the Year. She's a Cheryl Miller Award winner. She's been first team from last year. She's been first team. She was preseason All-American, and she lived up to the hype. But it's more than that as this basketball team continues to play. You hear it in Vic Schaefer's voice about how much he just loves being around this team and how he loves how they love each other. So it has been an interesting run for this team. But you go from being the hunter to now being the hunted. And Vic Schaefer kind of likes that kind of action.
You're the 1 seed. I mean, it don't get no bigger. So we've got to continue to wear that. I'll turn it around with my kids and tell them, hey, let's go hunting. I don't want to be the hunted. Let's go hunting. That's the edge you have to play with if you're going to live in the SEC. It's the edge you have to play with, to me, if you're going to survive and advance. So you can't have that mentality of on your heels and being hunted and trying to react. You got to go be the hunter, and you got to play with an edge. I thought we lost our edge in that second quarter against South Carolina. And for whatever reason, because we've been playing with an edge most of the year. So we got to get that back now.
You got to get it back, and you'll get it back against William and Mary. As I said, they defeated High Point last night, 69-63. So now Texas will take on that team this Saturday. And to me, it's important to understand that no matter who the opponent is, if Texas plays well, they're going to be just fine. This game will be on ESPN2 tomorrow night at 8:45 tip. But there was a unique situation for Vic Schaefer and his staff when it comes to getting prepared to take on either William and Mary or High Point during this time. So it was unique in the fact that he hadn't had to prepare for 2 teams to get ready for a tournament. And he spoke on the uniqueness of it all.
It's unique. I've never had this happen. The play-in is fairly new to the women's side, and so I've never had this. So we'll scout it on Thursday night, and then I've already got it broken down who's got who, and then the next game, the rest of my staff will break down the next 2 teams. So. It's unique. I've never had this happen before where I've had a play-in game. So, and I didn't even think about it, but my staff, we were sitting down to eat dinner there. Blair looked at me and goes, well, what happens if we have the play-in team? And I thought, I hadn't really thought about that because I've never had that before. So we went through the whole scenario at dinner, and so we'll be ready.
I have no doubt that this team will be ready to go, and that's just who Vic Schaefer is. We've heard him talk about his team as far as his coaching staff being collective enough to be able to go out and let you know who you're going to be guarding, who you're going to be covering, and the level in which they scout these teams. It's really exciting time for the University of Texas women's basketball team. This is a team that a lot of folks truly believe has a chance to get to the Final Four national championship game. It's a long road ahead. We know that. We just talked about March Madness on the men's side and the upsets and teams that are weren't supposed to be there and trying to get there. It's just so much that goes into it. But the biggest thing and the biggest concern for me is this team is in a position of success. They've had a lot of time off. Now, two things can happen. You can come out and be rusty, or you're going to come out and be fresh. And I believe that this Texas women's basketball team is going to be able to come out and be fresh. Their bodies are healed up. Because let's not forget, Kyla Oldacre has been able to walk around in a walking boot here for the last couple days, but there hadn't been anything for her to worry about. You now are in a position to where it's like, hey, there's an opportunity for that to happen, and especially in those positions of getting healthy because your team is stronger. This is a very good, well-coached, together basketball team on the women's side. They understand their roles. There's some freshmen that will step up in big moments. There's some senior leadership, people coming off the bench. It's been a great, great run for this women's basketball team, and it continues this Saturday against William & Mary, 8:45 tip-off on ESPN2. Make sure you're locked in and ready to go. There's just the women's game has grown so much, and we were having this discussion at lunch yesterday, and everybody was talking about, what it was like with Caitlin Clark and all the different things. But I think I went to more women's games this year, number one, than I ever have. And number two, I think I went to more women's games than I did men's games this year. Not because it was the right thing to do or going out to support Vic, or they're just fun to watch. And the fact of the matter is that they play 94 feet. And that SEC, we've talked about it in football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, soccer, you can look at it and say you have to show up every single night. And when you get home games against teams like an LSU, you get a home game against a team like Tennessee, the tradition, A&M. I mean, just everything that goes, South Carolina, the games were exactly what they were supposed to be. High-level basketball, fundamentally sound, and aggressive way of playing with legendary coaches on the sideline as well. So I'm excited for this women's matchup. If they win Saturday, they play again Monday night, and that house will be packed. Got to make sure you support it because there's a lot going on the 40 acres this weekend. But coming up next, Longhorn fans, get ready because I'm going to tell you, you can get some presents out the way early. And I'm thinking that I'm going to dig this book right here as well. R.T. Young talking about his new book, Texas Football A to Z, the Longhorn Alphabet, right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Well, good Friday morning to you. We still have that little bit of slow traffic in the Travis area, 35 northbound between FM 1626 and William Cannon Drive, setting you back about 8 minutes. We have an accident reported at Airport Boulevard at 7th Street and another accident reported at McNeil Drive near West Palmer Lane. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. If you have a spicy side, Taco Bell now has a menu to match. Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. Try it today, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Your stomach is a mess and you feel lousy. Something is just off, but you don't know what. Yeah, we get it. You've tried every fad diet and supplement under the sun, and none of it worked. Here's the truth. Your gut's a mess, and your body is letting you know. You're just too busy, and you ignore the signs, making it worse. Viome gets straight to the point, analyzing your gut microbiome to give you a personalized health plan that actually works. Your gut is how your body processes everything that you consume. Stop ignoring the signs. It's time to do something real. Get Viome and fix your gut now. Call Star Gut to get $50 off a full body intelligence test. That's ** 488 to receive a link to the offer.
Life in Austin moves fast. Work deadlines, weekend plans, and more errands than you can count. Feeling stretched thin? With AirTasker, getting help is easy. Post your task, set your price, and let local taskers handle the rest. Whether it's tackling a quick fix or finally checking off that big project you haven't had time for, Airtasker has you covered. Download Airtasker today or visit us at airtasker.com and spend less time juggling tasks and more time enjoying your life. Airtasker. Get anything done.
Hi, this is Jason Smith. At Tractor Supply, we know that a winning season out here takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when it comes to teamwork, it's great to have a neighbor like Tractor Supply. No matter the season, our team members are here to help. Like you, they know that nothing beats the feeling of seeing all your hard work pay off. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, we have everything you need to get the most out of life out here, season after season. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
Earl Campbell here for my good friends at Austin Shoe Hospital. Austin Shoe Hospital has been repairing my favorite boots and shoes for over 30 years. They are the best Western boot repair company in Texas and can repair any boot brand or style. Visit the master cobblers at Austin Shoe Hospital and they will bring all your shoes, boots, and bags back to life. If you can wear it, they can repair it. Oh, yes, and hook 'em horns.
Visit AustinShoeHospital.com.
GiveMeTheVin.com is already the best place to sell your car, and now it's even better with the GiveMeTheVin.com Big Cash Giveaway. Give Me the Vin is giving away $25,000 in cash every month. Sell us your car to increase your odds of winning big cash. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/radio. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Spurs home tonight against the Sixers. Celtics were sold for over $6 billion. The madness has begun. 12-seed McNeese State stunned 5-seed Clemson. 11-seed Drake upset 6-seed Mizzou, and 10-seed Arkansas knocked off 7-seed Kansas. The Cowboys are reportedly interested in trading for Patriots backup QB Joe Milton. I'm Ron Moss.
Hey, this is Lincoln Kennedy. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Mercedes-Benz.
That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. Offers are waiting.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, your home for the Horns.
Welcome back to the morning kickoff right here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Mike Hardball, Hardge, and the world's strongest man is DJing overseas. That's right. You heard me correctly. We will be talking to Mark Henry next week. He will be back on all week long next week. But yeah, your boy is over there DJing for an event, and of course wrestling is going on as well. But we are pleased to be joined right now by the author of the Longhorn Alphabet, Texas Football, A to Z. We are joined by R.T. Young. R.T., how you doing this morning? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you.
I'm good, Hardge. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to have this conversation with you. We've been going back and forth about it. You have written a book about Texas football, but not only have you written a book about Texas football, you've highlighted some of the great players that were a part of Texas football and the history of this game. I will start off by asking, what was the concept? What was the thought process for you to be able to write this book about Texas football?
Yeah, so you and I were talking a little bit before the segment started, and the way that you always lure kids into being a fan of the team that you're a fan of is you take them to games and you give them snacks first. And they realize that if I go to these games, I can get all the snacks that I'm not supposed to eat at home, and I can get multiple of them through the course of one game. So that's how it started. But then, my son had a phase, he's 5.5 now, where he really liked Transformers. And I was tired of Transformers. And I said, hey, bud, you want to see some videos of a football player who was really like a Transformer? And I started showing him Earl Campbell highlights. And so when he was he was really young. He was probably 2.5. We started really bonding over Earl Campbell and watching his old highlights. And I found stuff that I had never seen. Because I'm 35. Earl Campbell, he was before my time, but he was still one of my favorite players just because he's such a transcendent, legendary figure. But we started bonding over that, and we started just deep diving on all the legends of Texas football. And this is just like candy for me because I'm getting to explore all this. But he starts getting into football in general, and we find these, sort of babyish alphabet books that, exist for kids of every single subject you could imagine, rock stars, pop stars, wrestlers for our boy Mark Henry. And so we really realized there's not one for the Longhorns. And I told my wife about it, and I told some friends, our son really wants there to be a Longhorn book. And they were like, well, you're a writer, you should write this. And I was like, well, I'm a writer, but I'm not a children's writer, and I'm not an illustrator. And they were like, oh, that won't be a problem. So I, started looking around locally a little bit, and I knew I wanted to self-publish because I knew I wanted it to be the vision that I had in my mind for a book of something that would appeal to young readers, young Longhorn fans, older readers as well, and their parents. And I ended up getting connected with an illustrator in Romania, of all places, who basically does self-published children's books, and she became my illustrator. She did an incredible job. I basically created this 10-page Google Doc where I taught her all about Longhorn football, Longhorn history. I basically told her, hey, this is what I want this letter to look like. So if you take G, for example, I was like, there's this guy named Peter Gardier who beat our rival 4 times. He's the only person to ever do that. So I want him eating a corn dog, wearing 4 golden hats on the top of his head, leaning against the Cotton Bowl Stadium. And she drew that and brought that to life. So it was a really cool process where, even though I'm not an artist, I'm not an illustrator, it was my vision that I got to bring to life through a really cool partnership with somebody else.
Well, and that's the thing too, because not only are you educating someone else to help your vision of this book, you're also re-educating yourself on some of the legends that were around the game that kind of changed your view of Texas athletics, Texas football in particular. I was looking at it, and you also give tips in here. You talk about all the different coaches that were in here. And you said something too that I thought was intriguing about you self-publishing, right? And this also gives you something for your kids as well, where they can understand Dad created something that is ours, right? So now it's in your family forever.
Yeah, and that was a really funny part. Your kids are never impressed by you, no matter what you did. So I've been talking about this with my son for over a year, and he had seen some of the drawings because I'd shown him on my computer, and I'd shown him pictures, and that he was always big on, I want the very first copy. So I got 3 copies for my 3 kids shipped to me before the rest of the copies. First one out of the box, I gave to him. He's the oldest. He's got to get the first
That's
copy.
Right. That's right.
And I read it to him that morning before he went to school. And I was like, what do you think? He's like, well, it's good, but it's kind of long. And this is my son, he likes history encyclopedias about World War I and World War II. And I'm like, you're the one telling me that this is kind of long. But Longhorns have a rich history, and the alphabet has 26 letters. So it's got, we've got to make it somewhat long. So yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, we're talking to RT Young. He is the writer and author of the Longhorn Alphabet, Texas football A to Z. We're going to tell you where you can pick those up at, but it is important to understand he also writes for Inside Texas. So he is definitely immersed in Texas football. He knows a lot about what's going on, and let the people know how they can pick these up, where they can get them from, and maybe you can even sign a couple copies.
Yeah, for sure. You can get them locally at Sue Patrick. Go pick up a copy today at Sue Patrick. They're all signed, their copies. Longhorn Fashions has them as well. The Co-op is going to start stocking it right before Fan Day on April 26th. So that'll be exciting. Head on over to Fan Day. At the back of the book, there is an autographs page. So I know they're not having a spring game this year, Texas football, as it becomes more and more like an NFL team, but there is an autographs page. So you can take that to get autographed by your favorite Longhorns. You can also obviously buy it online at Amazon, but visit longhornalphabet.com and that'll tell you everything.
That is so awesome. Anything else on the horizon for you as far as another book?
I'm just writing for Inside Texas right now, but this book has opened up some cool things, partnership with Derek Johnson. So we're working on some stuff together, which hopefully will be on the horizon in the next year or so.
No, I love it. Derek Johnson Defend the Dream Foundation is a big part of that. RT, as always, man, it's good talking to you. I appreciate you stopping by and telling us about the book. RT Young. And make sure you get Longhorn Alphabet, Texas football from A to Z. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the NCAA and Texas Pro Day. And I want you to hear from Deion Sanders and his son, Shador. They got something for the haters right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
For a title continues for Texas women's basketball. Shea Holly, a three-pointer good. Shea Holly knocks down the three, and the Longhorns go up by 10. Catch all the action on our sister station. Baseline in traffic, put it up. Reverse side and got it. What a move on the baseline for Leah Moore to go under the basket. Reverse side, got the bucket in one. 103.1, Austin's 80 station. Hook off.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Well, good Friday morning to you. We still have that little bit of slow traffic in the Travis area, 35 northbound between FM 1626 and William Cannon Drive, setting you back about 8 minutes. We have an accident reported at Airport Boulevard at 7th Street and another accident reported at McNeil Drive near West Palmer Lane. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Abacus Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Electrical.
Get all your home spring tune-ups from Abacus for only $49 each. Water heater flush, AC tune-up, electric panel inspection, mainline drain clean-out, only at abacusplumbing.com.
M20628.
Your stomach is a mess and you feel lousy. Something is just off, but you don't know what. Yeah, we get it. You've tried every fad diet and supplement under the sun, and none of it worked. Here's the truth. Your gut's a mess, and your body is letting you know. You're just too busy, and you ignore the signs, making it worse. Viome gets straight to the point, analyzing your gut microbiome to give you a personalized health plan that actually works. Your gut is how your body processes everything that you consume. Stop ignoring the signs. It's time to do something real. Get Viome and fix your gut now. Dial **gut to get $110 off any test. That's *488 to receive a link to the offer.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell and Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Tractor Supply knows that a winning season takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when you have a neighbor like Tractor Supply, teamwork comes easy. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, our team members will help you succeed. Season after season. Tractor Supply. For life out here.
Hey, it's Sandy, and I want to tell you about something. I had a conversation with a pretty experienced leasing agent at Apple Leasing, and he told me something interesting. He said his customers' most typical response after taking delivery of their new car is, "What's the catch?" That was too easy. Says he hears it all the time. But you know what? For 40 years, Apple Leasing has been committed to offering world-class service and saving their clients money with their best-in-class easy lease. Apple's business has grown every year with over 70% coming from repeat and referral business, low payments, reasonable terms, and a process that is so easy. It almost seems too good to be true. Is it finally time to lower your car payments? Probably, because everything's gotten so expensive. But your car payment doesn't have to be. Make no down payment and save up to 50% on your monthly payments on terms that actually match your trade cycle. Hey, our clients say it best. Check out our thousands of near perfect reviews on DealerRater, Google, and Facebook. Call 346-9977.
Have you found your new favorite feature on the iHeartRadio app yet?
I have this go-to playlist. Boom, made it a preset.
It's like the only app you need.
The #1 radio app. Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio. Time for your Live Nation concert update. Don't miss Gareth Emery at Emo's March 27th. Billy Idol and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts at Moody Center May 4th. Kevin James at ACL Live June 14th. And The Offspring with Jimmy Eat World and Newfound Glory at Germania Insurance Amphitheater, August 24th. Get tickets at livenation.com.
Did you know Factory Mattress has over 6,000 five-star local reviews? Factory Mattress carries all the major brands at the guaranteed lowest price and has free next-day delivery and setup. But this week only, instead of charging you a pickup fee for your old mattress like other companies do, Factory Mattress is doing an exclusive $100 trade-in allowance, even if you didn't buy it from us. The best customer reviews and the lowest prices.
My Factory Mattress.
Wrangle up your local favorites during the Texas sale at Specs. The fun starts here.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone, KVET AM Austin. Your home for the Horde. Make us the #1 preset in your car and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Wake up with Hardge and Henry in the morning kickoff on 1300 The Zone.
Great stuff from R.T. Young, writer of the Longhorn Alphabet. Make sure you go over and pick those up. He said, get to Sue Patrick today so you could get one as well. Also, make sure you cast your vote for the Covert Huddle Best Plays of the Week. Get over to AM 1300 The Zone on X. And right now we have McNeese upsetting Clemson. We have Tegan Cavan, National Fast Pitch Pitcher of the Week, once again for the University of Texas. Jamar Chase becoming the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. And, of course, we have not discussed this, but we will right now. The Boston Celtics were sold yesterday for $6.1 billion with a B, $1 billion. And I think that's totally amazing because that team was originally purchased, not originally, but the last time they were sold, it was only sold for $360 million, only so. But now they're in the billions. So that's what happens when you become a champion. All right, I want to get into this. Texas Pro Day is March the 25th. We talked a little bit about that. So Pro Day is going to be exciting. There's an opportunity for a lot of folks to get a chance to make some money. But guess what? Colorado had its Pro Day. And Shedeur Sanders, obviously, is someone who's been under a lot of scrutiny. People are talking about him slipping in the draft and so much more that is going on. And y'all are probably saying, why y'all always talking about this? The reason why we're always talking about it, number one, it's headlines. Number two, the NFL draft is right around the corner. And Texas doesn't have a guy that is going to go 1, 2, or 3. This is an opportunity to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a son of somebody famous. Yes, Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, he's been with his dad since obviously birth, but his dad has been coaching him all of his life. So he doesn't know another coach, but he also doesn't know another way to handle things. And Shedeur was asked about what the spotlight is on being the son of a legendary Deion Sanders.
A lot of pressure that comes along with being a Sanders. How have you been able to navigate like the pressure and all the expectations that come along with being a Hall of Famer son?
I like the pressure that comes with everything. I'll say pressure is also a privilege. So if you don't have pressure on you, then I don't know what you're doing. So that's why I'm thankful, and I'm truly blessed that I am in a position, in the situation that I'm in, because I wouldn't want no other way.
And he doesn't, and he shouldn't. He shouldn't want it any other way. You know what pressure does. Pressure busts pipes. Therefore, that is the time for this to go down. So I'm excited about what he's been able to do. I'm excited about his opportunity. And Deion has been nothing but upfront about everything. He's not hard to find, as he's been telling us forever. He's told you we're coming. They did get better. They went to a bowl game. They brought in Hall of Fame level coaches that were players. They have gotten those guys to come in and understand. We had Bill Goldberg on the show yesterday, WWE Hall of Famer, whose son plays for Deion Sanders. By the way, if you missed any part of that, get over to our podcast page because it was unbelievable to hear Bill Goldberg. We also had Coach Schlossnagle, who Texas plays LSU this weekend. So get over to our podcast page. And coming up in the next segment, we have Big Ben McDonald, former LSU legend and number 1 overall draft pick of the Baltimore Orioles. He's coming up next on the show. So don't go anywhere. But I continue to say these opportunities that a lot of these players are now under the spotlight and being scrutinized left and right, I don't get it. I never have understood you watching a game for 4 years, 5 years, watching a guy play at different levels with different players at different times, yet every single time we get ready to go to the draft, there's a problem. I've never, ever, ever known that, hey, this guy can run fast in shorts and a T-shirt. You know what we need to start doing? You need to start having everybody go out and practice and do these combines in pads, because that is what matters. You can be the fastest dude on earth, yet you can't catch a ball. We've seen it multiple times. So why is it that the film, we always talk about the eye in the sky don't lie. Oh, the film says this. If you look at the film, it does this. But now all of a sudden we got to go and watch him do a workout somewhere. We got to go and watch him run around in shorts and T-shirts. I've never, ever, ever understood those types of things. Football is football. And you can be fast as you want to be without pads on, but then lock up and can't run when you put the pads on. So I've never, ever understood that. And I probably never will understand it, but it just is what it is. But I firmly believe that in these moments of the scrutiny and the expectations of all of these guys, all of them, it just doesn't make sense to me. Never has, never will, and I don't know how you're going to convince me any other way. But the NFL draft is a month away. There is some expectations of him going in, Deion's son, going in the top 3 positions and it'll be interesting. I told you about Daniel Jeremiah. Daniel Jeremiah is somebody that I trust, and I look at all the time at his mock drafts. He has Shedeur Sanders going number 3, followed by his teammate Travis Hunter going number 4 to the New England Patriots. The first Longhorn off the board has been and probably will be Kelvin Banks. But I'm not sure exactly where Kelvin Banks is going to go. They got him dropping down to number 25 in the draft to the Houston Texans. I'm not sure. But there's a lot that is going down with the quarterback position, who's going to go where, the excitement of it all. Matthew Golden has been listed as the first the Cowboys going to be a Cowboys wide receiver at 12 in Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. Jahdae Barron is going number 11 to San Francisco. So the Longhorns are going to get some guys in the top 10, top 11, top 12. That's awesome. I just don't know why some of these thoughts are going in another direction. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 is just around the corner. This is going to be a busy hour. Ben McDonald at 8 o'clock. Zach Sim at 8:17. And Chip Brown at 8:34. You don't want to miss it. Right here on a Feel Good Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. Hardball Hardge here, and just like the action on the court, Cover Ford and Hutto is bringing the heat with unbeatable deals like $13,000 off MSRP on select 2024 Ford F-150s, 0% APR for up to 72 months on 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E or the 2025 Ford F-150 Lightning, $10,000 off MSRP on the 2024 Ford Mustangs and select 2024 Ford Broncos. See dealer for details. Visit them on Highway 79 or at coverthuddoford.com. Cover Ford Hutto, bringing you slam dunk deals this spring.
Ever wake up feeling lousy, knowing something is off with your body? You don't have time for guesswork. You need Viome. Forget all the generic health fads. Viome doesn't tell you what you want to hear. It tells you what's actually going on inside your body. By analyzing your gut microbiome, Viome delivers a custom health plan that's as unique as your DNA. It's science, not nonsense. Want energy? Want better digestion? Viome has your back. Stop trusting amateurs. Go to Viome.com for a personalized gut professional now. Call StarStar Gut to get $110 off any test. That's StarStar 488 to receive a link to the offer.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations. We've been providing custom electronic systems for Central Texas for more than 36 years. And
Old man, I think they all know who you are and what your company does. This is Camilla McKay. The old man believes in big fun and big ideas. He can make dreams come true, so why not dream big? I've been up in Boston, but I know the old man and all his friends and fellow radio heads have been spreading the holiday spirit here in Texas. Why should we stop there? Keep spreading the good feelings all over. Audiovisual Consultations carries all major brands of televisions and stereo equipment at prices you can't find in stores. And you don't have to leave your house. Just like Santa, they deliver the gifts to you.
yeah, I like that, kid. Throw a party, hang out with your friends, catch a concert.
That's all fun and good, but can we get back to the business? You can give us a call at 512-255-8678 or visit our website at avconsultations.com for some cool electronics.
Oh, now you're forgetting something.
And as always, hug your kids. We only pretend to be annoyed. Watch some games with your friends and make love to whoever the hell you want.
Rapid Radios, the official walkie-talkie of the Dan Patrick Show. Don't be fooled by those imposters. We are all in with Rapid Radios. They're simple to use. Just push one button and you talk. And right out of the box, ready to go. They'll hold a charge for up to 5 days. They work on a nationwide LTE network. So no subscriptions ever. It's walkie-talkie ease with all the connectivity and technology of today. That's the one question I get from people is, how's it sound? It sounds great. It sounds like you're on a phone. Rapid Radio is great for the kids or an aging parent. You can speak to your kids after school, push to talk with your parents. They may struggle with the phone. They could be 5 states away. You'll still be able to connect with them. 100% private. There's no subscriptions ever. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com, get 60% off, get free shipping, a free protection bag, add code radio. That means an extra 5% off. Get started at rapidradios.com.
To be invested with Betterment is to believe in better, whether it's saving for today or building wealth for tomorrow. We help people and small businesses put their money to work. We automate to make saving simpler. We optimize to make investing smarter. We build innovative technology backed by financial experts for anyone who's ever said, I think I can do better. So be invested in better with Betterment. Get started at Betterment.com. Investing involves risk, performance not guaranteed.
Everyone loves The Office. Admit it. You wish you had a Dundee. Instead, you have this, The Office Deep Dive Podcast, hosted by Brian Baumgartner, a.k.a. Kevin from The Office. Every week in this new hilarious podcast, Brian sits down with one of his old friends from The Office as they discuss their favorite moments on set and never-before-told stories.
Your kids watching it?
Never.
No, come on.
They've never watched it. Listen to The Office Deep Dive on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The morning kickoff. The morning kickoff. It's the morning kickoff with Mike Hardball Hardge and the world's strongest man, WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, on your home for the Horns, 1300 The Zone.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of a Feel Good Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300 The Zone. We talked March Madness, both men's and women. We've also talked about Pro Day and the expectations of the NFL draft. But we talked about March Madness, but it is March Madness right now in baseball season in the SEC. And what better way to get this thing started, as there's going to have a big weekend in the SEC, than getting the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, my guy, Big Ben McDonald, former #1 overall pick and a legend of the LSU Tigers. Big Ben, how you doing, buddy?
Hardge, I'm good, buddy. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm ready for this exciting weekend. But before we talk Texas and LSU, I want to talk about the SEC as a whole. As someone who's been invested in this for such a long time, like yourself, being around the game of baseball, has this changed in a way that has made this the most competitive league across the board?
Oh, I think so. I mean, the proof's in the pudding, Hard. That's what we always say, right? I mean, and you talk about the SEC in baseball. And look, I know y'all talked about the basketball, I'm sure, a record year in SEC basketball. But if you look in baseball, I mean, the last 5 national titles have been won by SEC schools. That's impressive in its own. But here's the sticker behind that. It's 5 different programs that have won the national title in the last 5 years. So it's not just one dominant program that's out there. I mean, there's so many good teams. And look, you take it a step further, 6 out of the last 7, 7 of the last 10, and 10 of the last 15 national championships have been won by the SEC. That's how dominant it is. A super conference. You add Texas and Oklahoma into the mix, you got 16 teams now. And oh, by the way, Texas is adapting pretty well to the SEC. Oklahoma not doing too bad either. So, yeah, it's a gauntlet. It's a very tough conference to play in. It's a mental and physical grind. But I always say this about the SEC. Once you've gone through this 30-game schedule, it only prepares you for what's ahead, and that's the postseason. And there's nothing that you will see in the postseason that you haven't seen during the regular season. That's what's good. If you can survive it on the mental and physical side, it only prepares you for what's ahead. And that's the important thing about going through this. But it is a difficult time when you're going up against the Alabamas and LSUs and Texas and Tennessees and Arkansas of the world. Everybody is so good.
And you talk about the rankings. We're talking to Ben McDonald of the SEC Network and of ESPN. And he'll be on the call tonight with Keith Moreland on the SEC Network. But I want to talk about this because you look at the rankings in the SEC. You got Tennessee, you got Alabama. That's a big matchup this weekend. You got Texas A&M, who started the season as the #1 ranked team, taking on the number 22 ranked Vanderbilt Commodores. You got Ole Miss on the road at Missouri, Mississippi State at Oklahoma, South Carolina and Arkansas, and of course, Texas and LSU tonight. But you look across this conference and you look at Tennessee. Tennessee is a team, and you could tell me if I'm wrong about this, that just they slammed the baseball and they actually got good pitching too. Going up against a team like Alabama, who got one of the best players in the country right now in Justin LeBron.
Yeah, I tell you what, normally there's a drop off, Hardge, and we've seen that, right? I mean, you go back 3 years ago, Mississippi State won their very first national title. They didn't even make the SEC tournament the following 2 years, and they got going again and made it to the postseason last year. Ole Miss would win the year after Mississippi State, and yet they've had 2 really rough years of not even making the NCAA tournament. LSU won the title 2 years ago, and while they made a regional last year, they were not the LSU that people are typically used to seeing. So what I'm getting at is there typically is a drop-off after you win the national title. But, oh, no, not for Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's kind of picked right back up where they left off, won their very first national title in program history last year. And yet they go into this weekend, leading in runs per game, leading in ERA across, not in the SEC, that's across the nation, by the way. And that's how good Tennessee is. So it's been zero drop off. They had an 70 or 80 something homers last year, blew everybody out of the water. They're on pace to surpass that this year. Now, they lost a tough one last night to Alabama at Alabama. And Alabama, and you mentioned LeBron, this is a really good team and a player in Justin LeBron who is projected not in this year's draft, Hard, but in next year's draft to be the number 1 overall pick. And look, I watched him play last night a little bit. He looks like, he looks like he's 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you who reminds me of when he swings. He reminds me of Mookie Betts. I see a lot of Mookie Betts in this kid. Very wiry, going to fill out, still looks like a baby, don't even have man muscles yet, and yet he's doing the things, leading the entire country in home runs and RBIs. And so he was on people's radar a little bit last year, Hard. I mean, I heard a little bit about him, but I don't think anybody saw these kind of numbers coming from LeBron. So good to see him doing what he's doing. Tennessee's up there. And it's good to see Alabama. I mean, Alabama's off to a great start. I mean, they knocked off Tennessee last night. They're 4-0 in conference and 22-1 overall. So look out for the Tide.
Yeah, them Tide, roll Tide, as they like to say down there. We're talking to Big Ben McDonald. And Big Ben, I wanted to talk about this matchup. A lot of folks, obviously, in this part of the country know a lot about what Texas has been doing. They understand LSU, as you talked about, former national champion and continues to get better. But tell us about Jay Johnson's group and what you've seen from them thus far.
Yeah, I tell you, this is a fun matchup, and you talk about 2 blue bloods of college baseball, right? I mean, LSU, the second most national titles in the history of the game. Texas, the third most. LSU has 7 national titles in program history. Texas has 6. So, I mean, it's 2 and 3 when you talk about national titles. So it's going to be a fun matchup. And Dish Hawk Field is always just a wiry, kind of weird place to be. It's fun. It's going to be a lot of folks there. There'll be a lot of barbecue. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. But when I see LSU, I see an improvement in offense is what I see. Because I went back and looked. Last year, LSU was 111th in the entire country out of 300 Division I teams in offense. They averaged 7.1 runs per game. This year, they're third in the entire country, averaging 10.4 runs per game. So it is literally 3.5 runs better this year so far than what it was last year. So that's a big improvement. The lineup is a very deep lineup, 1 through 9. They figure out ways to pressure you up. And if you break it down a little bit further, it's a very patiently aggressive lineup, if that makes sense. I mean, you look at walks, LSU walks almost more than anybody in the SEC. They strike out the fewest amount of times almost anybody in the SEC, and yet the batting average is the tops in the SEC. You combine all that, and it is pressure 1 through 9, and that's kind of what they do. And this is where Jay kind of separates himself from a lot of other college teams and lineups right now. Is Jay really has about 12 offensive players that he really trusts. In other words, he can play the platoon advantage whenever he needs to. So tonight, for instance, Jared Spencer is going to start a left-handed pitcher. You'll see Jay go in and he'll line his lineup with a lot of right-handed hitters because he'll want to grab that platoon advantage. But as soon as Jared Spencer comes out of the game for Texas and Texas puts in a right-hander, he will immediately take 2 of those left-handers and bench them and plug in 2 left-handed hitters that are just equally as good. And so that's what he can do to you. He can really mix and match you late middle parts of ball games with pieces off the bench and guys that he really trusts. And so it's a very deep lineup. Now, here's the thing. LSU has averaged 130 homers a year the last 2 years. Like, they can really bang it. They're not going to get there this year, Hard. It's almost death by 1,000 paper cuts is what it's going to be this year when you face LSU, because they do have Jared Jones, who hit 28 homers last year. He's starting to get hot again. He's got 7 or 8 now. But I don't think LSU gets to 100 homers this year. I just don't think they do. But again, they're going to find a way to pressure you up in different ways. What they do, they lead the SEC in doubles. And so they can really go gap to gap. Not going to blow it out of the ballpark a ton, but they can really beat you.
Talk about the freshman that has been able to lead this team in hitting. Derek Curiel, the left-handed hitter and left fielder. He's been nothing short of impressive. He's got 23 walks in just 12 Ks. That's something you don't normally see from a true freshman.
No, I'm going to tell you, when you step into this conference as a true freshman, I'm not talking about a red shirt. I'm talking about a real true freshman. Not many freshmen step into this conference and A, get significant playing time, much less B, go right to the top of a lineup and hit number one. And that's what this kid is doing. And Hardge, I'm going to tell you who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Alex Bregman, because I covered Alex Bregman at LSU for 3 years before he was drafted and went on to have it and still having a wonderful career in the big leagues. But it's not cockiness, it's confidence when I talk about Derek Curiel. And he's just like one of these guys. This is what I was born to do. This was what I was meant to do, is play the game of baseball. And he's not cocky, but he's very confident in his abilities and what he's able to do. And I tell you what, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, you look at in the SEC. I mean, he came into this weekend second in the SEC in batting average. The kid's hitting .434. You mentioned the walks. He has more walks than anybody. The on-base percentage is as good as anybody's. And he plays a really good left field, too. So he's been a difference maker. And to take a true freshman and plug him in, not only in the lineup every day, but plug him in the number one spot, man, that doesn't happen very often.
Especially at LSU, you got to come in and earn your stripes, and he has definitely done that. Big Ben, I want to thank you for joining me this morning, man. I know it's early, but you are always up and moving around, and you will be on the call with the legendary Keith Moreland tonight. Two legends in the booth, calling a great matchup between the Texas Longhorns and the LSU Tigers.
The Tigers, that's right. Horns and Tigers tonight, man. That's going to be a good one. Y'all check it out, man. SEC Network, it's going to be some fun. 7 o'clock Central Time. So we're going to have Horns and Tigers on the field and up in the booth. So I'm looking forward to spending some time with old Keith Moreland, an ex-teammate of mine in the big leagues a long, long time ago.
As always, brother, I appreciate you, and I'm so glad I got a chance to catch up with you. Thanks again, man.
Anytime, Hardge. Take care, buddy.
All right. There he is, Big Ben McDonald, breaking down the LSU Tigers. So do you know what we're going to do? Don't worry, Longhorn fans. We're going to break down the Longhorns as well, as my guy Zach Sim from Orange Bloods joins us to talk about the matchup and his expectations of the Texas Longhorns this weekend. Don't go anywhere. Feel Good Friday edition of the Morning Kickoff right here on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The voice of the Horns, Craig Way on 1300 The Zone, weekdays at 2.
Our iHeartRadio Music Awards celebrated the music and artists you've loved listening to all year on iHeartRadio. Brought to you by Jeep.
It's now streaming on Hulu for a limited time.
Bad Bunny,
Billie Eilish,
Glorilla,
Kenny Chesney,
Money Long,
Nelly,
your host, LL Cool J,
plus Lady Gaga,
Mariah Carey,
Gracie Abrams,
and iHeartRadio's Tour of the Century Award, honoring Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour.
Our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Awards.
Streaming now on Hulu.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Good morning. We do have a 17-minute delay right now. 360 Capital Texas southbound between 2222 and Westlake Drive. So you may want to maybe take an alternative route there. We also have an accident reported Airport Boulevard at 7th Street. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save up to 20% when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get red, green, or black seedless grapes for $1.27 per pound with digital coupon. And Lucerne gallon milk or Lucerne butter for $2.47 each with digital coupon.
Your stomach is a mess and you feel lousy. Something is just off, but you don't know what. Yeah, we get it. You've tried every fad diet and supplement under the sun, and none of it worked. Here's the truth. Your gut's a mess, and your body is letting you know. You're just too busy, and you ignore the signs, making it worse. Viome gets straight to the point, analyzing your gut microbiome to give you a personalized health plan that actually works. Your gut is how your body processes everything that you consume. Stop ignoring the signs. It's time to do something real. Get Viome and fix your gut now. Dial ***gut to get $110 $110 off any test. That's *488 to receive a link to the offer.
At Tractor Supply, we know that a winning season out here takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when it comes to teamwork, it's great to have a neighbor like Tractor Supply. No matter the season, our team members are here to help. Like you, they know that nothing beats the feeling of seeing all your hard work pay off. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, we have everything you need to get the most out of life out here. Season after season, Tractor Supply. For life out here.
Make your mark on 48 years of tradition with the Statesman Cap 10K on Sunday, April 6th. Run Texas's largest 10K and score top-notch swag while you're at it. Fun for the whole family is just a click away. Sign up now at cap10k.com.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to stand out, and that's where True Green comes in. Here's the best part. It's more affordable than you think. They'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Not happy? They will come back between visits to make it right. So don't wait. Head to truegreen.com today and let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results. Exclusions apply. See truegreen.com for details. From providing extra support during busy seasons to replace vacant roles, you need Express Employment professionals on your team. Express can handle everything from contract placements to finding the right full-time team member. Go to expresspros.com and you'll solve your workforce challenges when you draft Express to manage your hiring needs. You can concentrate on what really matters, and that is growing your business. Get started, add to your workforce, expresspros.com. That's expresspros.com.
Did you know Factory Mattress has over 6,000 five-star local reviews? Factory Mattress carries all the major brands at the guaranteed lowest price and has free next-day delivery and setup. But this week only, instead of charging you a pickup fee for your old mattress like other companies do, Factory Mattress is doing an exclusive $100 trade-in allowance, even if you didn't buy it from us. The best customer reviews and the lowest prices.
My Factory Mattress.
Would you drive 10 minutes for $500? That's the distance from CarMax to Henna Chevrolet. And Henna guarantees you $500 more than any CarMax offer for your vehicle. Just show Henna your written CarMax appraisal offer within 7 days, and you'll get $500,000 more guaranteed. Is your time worth $50 a minute? It is at Henna. Come get your money at Henna.com.
Henna Chevrolet will always stand by you.
Together, let's drive.
It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Great stuff by Ben McDonald. Talking LSU. So now we got to take it back home. We got to bring it to the Texas Longhorns. And what better way than talking to my guy, Zach Sim of orangebloods.com. You can follow him at Zach at the Dish. And Zach, you know, this is a huge matchup for the Texas Longhorns. Obviously coming off that loss the other night against UTSA. I was telling somebody yesterday, I was like, midweeks, I mean, they're good for the other team and their RPIs, but for teams like Texas, Tennessee lost the other night. They're more worried about winning the SEC in their weekend. So I'm not going to harp on what happened in that game on Tuesday, but the one positive that I will take out of that was Cade Bean looked like the Cade Bean that we were hoping to see when he came to the 40 acres.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to talk with y'all this morning. You know, we got some baseball tonight. It's a big top 10 matchup. But, yeah, I mean, Cade Bean came out and absolutely shoved. And, you know, throughout the fall, all you heard about Bean was this guy is the guy that throws strikes on the club. And so for him to continue to work with Max Wiener in the bullpen and continue to figure out his repeatability and location, that's a big addition potentially for the bullpen this weekend to have him as a weapon.
Yeah, and that's something that we've been looking for and been wanting to see. He was in starting rotation on a Sunday starter. Now they moved him around a little bit and made some different things happen. So that's going to be a big part of it. Texas goes on the road last weekend, and they get the sweep, which Coach Schlossnagle told us yesterday is one of the rarest things in the SEC. He said he doesn't even think he was ever even part of one of those at any time during his time at Texas A&M. But you look at what Texas was able to do, go over and produce, even when guys like Jalen Flores and Max Ballou finished the weekend, I think they were like 1 of 20. But you found different ways to get things done. And one of those ways is getting fired up by Rylan Galvan, who is absolutely tearing the cover off the baseball. What do you attribute it to him being ready to hit now as opposed to what he was like at the very beginning of the season?
Yeah, I think what you see from Galvan at the plate is he brings a lot of confidence, right? He's confident in his approach. He's confident in his swing and being able to put the ball into action. And then, as you know, the big man has some just ridiculous strength to opposite field. And so with the wind blowing as hard as it was left to right, you know, he was really able to take advantage of that. And then the way they were pitching to him, that slider inside, that's where he loves to get inside, get his hands in there and send it the other way. So it was a really good matchup for him just in terms of what they were throwing on the mound. And again, just staying with that approach. He'd been hitting some balls hard, just not falling in. Same thing with Kimball Schuessler. You know, and so when you got guys like Ballou or Flores or even Adrian Rodriguez, you know, they went 1 for 30 on the weekend. So you got to have those guys at the bottom of the lineup produce, and they did. You know, they came through. Casey Borba came through with a big fly. Galvan obviously had some big shots. Kimball was keeping the lineup getting turned over, and then of course my man Mendoza at the top of the lineup just continues to be a menace out there. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just believing the approach, believing the strategy of what they're going to do at the plate, and taking all the lessons from Schlossnagle and Tulo.
Well, let me ask you this. We're talking to Zach Sim of orangebloods.com. You can follow him at Zach at the Dish. That's interesting that you brought up what Mendoza has been able to do at the top of the lineup. And I was talking to Coach Schloss yesterday, and if you missed any part of that, get over to our podcast page. But I was talking to him yesterday about his ability to move people around in the lineup. Now, there's guys that are in the lineup every single day, but he's not afraid to move guys around, especially pending on the matchup. Have you noticed that as well?
Yeah, I think it's stabilized quite a bit. But yeah, you've seen Galvan hitting at the 9 spot, and all of a sudden he's up at the 5 or 6 spot. You see guys moving around. Some of that's matchup. Some of it, you know, you put guys in certain places to give other guys above them protection, or even guys below them protection. Sometimes it's a left-right. You know, you want to switch it up so you're not getting 2 righties in a row or 2 lefties. And this is a predominantly right-hand lineup. And so, yeah, I think we've seen that move around, but it's gotten a lot less since the beginning of the year for sure. You know, at the beginning of the year, he was still trying to figure out who's going to hit leadoff. A lot of people thought Winfield might hit leadoff. And then, you know, you saw Kimball up there. So he continues to tinker a little bit just to kind of fine-tune according to that pitching matchups.
So let me ask you this. You know, he's been talking a lot about the starting pitching. Obviously, we know who Friday and Saturday is, and he said that he's going to piece together and see where they are on Sunday. He said he's had success with it, and that's I can't deny it. Dude's a Hall of Famer, so you got to believe in his ways and his methods to it. But I told you on your podcast and talking about this, I told you I believe that Jason Flores is going to be a guy who eventually gets that Sunday start. He got one this past weekend. Obviously, it was because of the doubleheader, but he's trending in the right direction, especially for a young player.
Yeah, Flores, I mean, even coming out of high school, you could see the talent, right? He was running that fastball up to 96, 97. That sinker of his is just nasty. I mean, it's like legitimate concrete bag that you're trying to hit out there. And then he mixes it up real well. And the interesting thing about Flores is he's not a guy that has the same type of pitch, right? The shape of the pitch changes pretty often. And so sometimes it'll have run side, sometimes it'll have glove side. And so it makes an uncomfortable approach at the hit or at the plate because you don't know if you're getting something inside, outside, pitch to pitch. But he's also got that mentality. And, you know, I mean, Hardge, you know this as well as anyone working in in the minors and going up and playing professional baseball. But if you don't have the right mentality, it doesn't matter what role you're in, you're not going to be successful. And so he's got to have that mentality of, if my name is called, I'm going to go out there and just shove. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to trust my defense and just have a day, right? And so I think, even though he's a freshman, I think that's what you saw from him. And I think that's what you continue to see from a guy like Dylan Vlantis. They're just not afraid. They're prepared. I mean, Max has got those guys in a mental state where they say, all right, it's my ball. I want the ball. I'm going to go do it. And that's, when Flores says, I want the ball, you got to listen to the guy because he's got the stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that I've been impressed with from day one. I wanted to ask you this, Zach. You start looking at this weekend and this big matchup against LSU. How do you see this weekend going?
It's funny. I've been trying to break down just all the little stats here and there. This is definitely going to be the toughest matchup for Texas hitting. Jay Johnson really likes to play those left-right matchups. So, he'll completely change half of his lineup based on who's on mound. So obviously Spencer's the left-hander. He's going to get this Friday night start. You're going to see certain guys in the lineup, especially at third base, even over at catcher potentially, although most likely to be Hernandez. But he'll move guys around. And then when a righty comes in, he very well may change out his DH and his third baseman as well. So the other thing about this is it's good on good, right? Cade Anderson, who's going for LSU tonight, he's a strike thrower.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to necessarily overpower you, 93, 95. But the one thing you'll notice about him is he pounds the zone. 28 innings, he's got 46 or 48 strikes already on the year. So he's racking them up. Texas is, bottom of the absolute last in the nation in first pitch swing. They're not going to swing at it. It's just, that's what they do, right? That's the approach to take. They want to get deep in counts. And so the hitters are going to have to be very comfortable living in that uncomfortable 1-2 or 0-2 count all weekend long, because Chase Shores does the same thing, although he's a little more fastball heavy. And then on Sunday, I think the most interesting matchup to me is on Sunday, because Anthony Ianson, UC San Diego transfer, he's got one of the nastiest sliders you will have seen in college baseball this year. I mean, it is, the break on it's ridiculous. And Texas over the last couple of years have had trouble with that slider that has a really hard break at the last bit. So, it'll be interesting to see how the hitters adjust over the weekend and how they adjust to the pitching, because they're going to see a lot of plus arms. But I think, this is also the biggest test that LSU will have faced on the year. They've got the 250th strength of schedule in the nation. So they've played a couple good teams that you saw up in Frisco or in Round Rock with K-State and Nebraska. But that's not Texas, right? I mean, Texas has a very methodical approach. They've got some arms. So it's going to be really interesting, because I think you talk to a number of LSU boys, and not all of them are confident that they're just going to come in and sweep Texas away. I mean, they're thinking this is going to be a dogfight.
And I hope it is, because it starts tonight. We're all excited about it. Excuse me. Everybody's been looking forward to this when the schedule was released, and now we are here. As always, Zach, we look forward to the conversations, and we'll regroup. Texas takes on LSU tonight, 7 o'clock first pitch. You can hear it right here on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate you. When we come back, we're going to talk to our man, Chip Brown, my former co-host, as he breaks down what's going on with the coaching search and RT right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Well, good morning. We do have some stop-and-go traffic. About a 27-minute delay on 360 Capital, Texas, if you're heading southbound between 2222 and Westlake Drive. Good news, an accident did clear out at Airport Boulevard at 7th Street. And also, we have slow traffic on 35 northbound between FM 1626 and William Cannon Drive. About a 6-minute delay. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Cordell & Cordell.
Cordell & Cordell. Divorce and family law. CordellCordell.com.
866-323-7529. 866-323-7529. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
March is here, and it's time for tip-off. Are you ready for wall-to-wall basketball? Specs has got you covered. With a huge selection of handcrafted brews, canned cocktails, and top-shelf spirits, Specs is the perfect assist for your game day celebration. Take a time out and feed the fans with Specs sweet and salty gourmet snacks. It's time to crash the boards, and Specs is your sixth man. Specs, the fun starts here.
Life in Austin moves fast. Work deadlines, weekend plans, and more errands than you can count. Feeling stretched thin? With Airtasker, getting help is easy. Post your task, set your price, and let local taskers handle the rest. Whether it's tackling a quick fix or finally checking off that big project you haven't had time for, Airtasker has you covered. Download Airtasker today or visit us at airtasker.com and spend less time juggling tasks and more time enjoying your life. Airtasker. Get anything done.
Your stomach is a mess and you feel lousy. Something is just off, but you don't know what. Yeah, we get it. You've tried every fad diet and supplement under the sun, and none of it worked. Here's the truth. Your gut's a mess, and your body is letting you know. You're just too busy, and you ignore the signs, making it worse. Biome gets straight to the point, analyzing your gut microbiome to give you a personalized health plan that actually works. Your gut is how your body processes everything that you consume. Stop ignoring the signs. It's time to do something real. Get Biome and fix your gut now. Call Star Gut to get $50 off a full body intelligence test. That's Star 488 to receive a link to the offer.
Attention construction superintendents, contractors, and event planners. If you're in the market for a temporary rental fence, call Viking Fence today. The same company that is so reliable with permanent fences can save you time, money, and headaches. Located in Central Texas since 1972, Viking is highly committed to prompt and courteous customer service. Our flexible pricing plans allow you to fix your costs or hit your budget. Ask about our damage waiver rate that will eliminate untimely chargebacks. Excellent work, great service, and an honest reputation. Call Viking Fence today at 837-6411 or visit us online at vikingfence.com. Again, call 837-6411 or visit us at vikingfence.com. When you think temporary rental fence, think Viking.
Shop's simple. It doesn't get any easier. You're looking for a new Ford. You don't have time to spend hours at the dealership. You're busy. So Leaf Johnson Ford has made it simple. Pick yours at leafjohnsonford.com. We can bring it to you for a home test drive. Once you determine it's perfect, you can arrange financing, value your trade, and sign all your paperwork digitally. Then simply tell us where and when you want to take delivery. Leaf Johnson Ford. Leaf Johnson Ford has made buying a new Ford simple.
Second opinions.
You get them with your health.
So why not with your wealth?
Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion.
At Henyon & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Henyon & Walsh, the second opinion people. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henyon & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henyon & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Your Austin weather. Sunny skies for your Friday, a high of 82. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 55. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high in the mid to upper 80s. Sunday, cloudy, a high of 87.
This report is sponsored by Randall's. Save up to 20% when you shop with digital coupons at Randall's. This week at Randall's, get red, green, or black seedless grapes for $1.27 per pound with digital coupon. And Lucerne gallon milk or Lucerne butter for $2.47 each with digital coupon.
What's up, everyone? It's Greg Rosenthal, and I'm teaming up with the king of spring, Daniel Jeremiah. He requires me to say that. We're going to be bringing you 40s and Free Agents, the only podcast you'll need this NFL draft season. From DJ's mock drafts to my top 101 free agents, we'll have it covered for you with all new episodes every Thursday, keeping you up to date as we head to the NFL draft. Listen to 40s and Free Agents on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow 40s and Free Agents and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
Sports Radio 1300 The Zone. Our blood runs orange.
He is no stranger to the AM 1300 The Zone airways. He is my former co-host. He's the one who got me into this business. We spend a lot of time together. and he's also the man who writes some of the best articles over at Horns 24/7. He's the one and only Chip Brown. You can follow him at Chip Brown 247. Chip, a lot of speculation is out there about Rodney Terry. You wrote in your Insider last week that there were some grumblings and some possible changes coming, and some of the news had broke that there will be a change, but it's been real quiet on the front. What is the latest on the coaching situation for Texas men's basketball and one Rodney Terry?
Hey, Hardge, thanks for having me, man. There is going to be a change in the Texas men's basketball coaching situation, but I think it is going to be quiet for a little bit because Chris Del Conte's wife had surgery, and I think Chris Del Conte was not in Dayton for the game, and I think there's a possibility that the next coach at Texas is still coaching. And so I think there will be a little bit of time here, but the portal window opens next week. So there is some urgency because Texas, we know, is losing 7 of their top 10 players to graduation, eligibility, expiration. But you've got, Kendall Weaver, Jordan Pope, Devon Pryor,
Nick Cody,
Jamie Vinson, all with eligibility remaining, and there's got to be decisions made about, where players are going to be. So, only one signee in the 2025 recruiting class, John Clark, the power forward, a recruiting class that's ranked number 74 in the nation. So, a lot of things up in the air.
Yeah, and it's definitely an unfortunate situation. If you go back to when this all happened, he ended up having to step in for the situation with Chris Beard, did a good job, had a good run, and then things kind of, took shape. He got the job, and now we're at this point. Where do you feel that this has gone wrong for the Texas basketball team?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, Rodney Terry is beloved in Texas basketball circles because, what he said the other night. I mean, he's been part of Texas basketball for 13 years, the first 10 as an assistant to Rick Barnes. He was part of the coaching staff when they went to the Final Four in 2003. He was on staff when Kevin Durant, won the Naismith Player of the Year in 2007, when they went to the Elite Eight in 2008 and 2006. So Rodney Terry's been a part of Texas basketball in some of its highest moments. And you're right. He took over for Chris Beard, the shocking, circumstances around Chris Beard's dismissal. And he guided a team, one of the most experienced teams in college basketball 2 years ago, with 5 fifth-year seniors, the COVID seniors, as we call them.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an unbelievable run and, got to the Elite Eight, had a chance to go to the Final Four, up 13 with 12 minutes left against Miami, and couldn't hold that lead. But, I was told at that time that if Rodney Terry had not gotten the team to the Elite Eight, that Chris Del Conte probably would have hired Sean Miller, the head coach at Xavier. And I think Sean Miller is still a candidate for the Texas job. And so how crazy is it that Rodney Terry played Xavier and Sean Miller, beat him in the Sweet 16 in 2023, and then drew him again to face him in the first 4 game on Wednesday night, with, possibility that Sean Miller is a candidate for the Texas job. So it's, there's a ton of irony in that matchup on Wednesday night. But I think, Chris Del Conte has said the standard is he wants to hire coaches who are capable of winning a national championship in their respective sport. And I think the feeling was it's not moving in that direction. And so even though Rodney Terry, he went 29-9 in 2023 when he got the 5-year contract, and then 21-13 a year ago, and now 19-16, but 6-12 in SEC play. And there were some non-competitive games in there. There was, blowout losses at home to Alabama and Georgia, blowout losses on the road to Florida and South Carolina. And, he doesn't move Tremont Mark, the point guard position, till after the regular season, and that works. They beat Vanderbilt and A&M in the SEC tournament, which got them into the field of 68. But then, they're up 13 against Xavier 3 different times, can't hold the lead. And that was the 3rd time this year they had a double-digit lead and lost the game. So, I think the sense is the program's not moving in the direction that it needs to move. And that's why you're going to see a change coming here.
Chip, we'll let you go with this. How likely, I know you said that the transfer portal will open. How quickly do you expect to see the change? Should we expect it at the beginning of next week? Should we see it before the 3rd and 4th rounds of the NCAA tournament to start?
Yeah, I think some of it will depend on what's happening with the let's say top candidates. If they're still coaching, Texas will try to respect that. But obviously, Rodney Terry wants to know what's going on. So I expect something to happen next week.
All right, there he is, Chip Brown. For all the latest, get over to Horns 24/7 or just follow him at Chip Brown 247. Thanks, Chip, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Okay, thanks, Arch.
All right, there he is, Chip Brown. Man, there's a lot to unravel when it comes to this coaching carousel. We'll come up next and close out the show and send you to Dan Patrick right here on the Morning Kickoff on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
One time when Bill Schoening and I were doing a Tuesday night game, and there was an umpire behind the plate, Tom Jenkins. And Tom was a rather corpulent fellow, and he lets a pitch go in there. And you hear this pop again. He goes, ball two. Then crystal clear that our field mic picked up was some fan yelling, Jenkins, you fat.
Only on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival 2025, returning to the Moody Center Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Well, good morning. We do have some stop-and-go traffic. About a 27-minute delay on 360 Capital, Texas, if you're heading southbound between 2222 and Westlake Drive. Good news, an accident did clear out at Airport Boulevard at 7th Street. And also, we have slow traffic on 35 northbound between FM 1626 and William Cannon Drive. About a 6-minute delay. I'm Alan Craig with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Pro Savings Days are back, and get up to 40% off, plus save an additional $100 on every $1,000 you spend on select major appliances. Valid through 3/28. Selection varies by location, while supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for details on qualifying items.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. For over 3 decades, Cordell & Cordell has been on the front lines of family law. Divorce is more than just a legal process. It's a life-changing event that can impact your future, finances, and your relationship with your children. You've worked hard to build a life that you're proud of, and you deserve a legal partner who will work just as hard to protect it.
Offices in Austin, San Antonio, and St. Louis. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Austin area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. Call 800-917-5151. That's 800-917-5151. 800-917-5151.
At Tractor Supply, we know that a winning season out here takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when it comes to teamwork, it's great to have a neighbor like Tractor Supply. No matter the season, our team members are here to help. Like you, they know that nothing beats the feeling of seeing all your hard work pay off. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, we have everything you need to get the most out of life out here. Season after season, Tractor Supply. For life out here.
The new iHeart app
is the one app you need.
Love my presets. The preset feature is dynamite. Love it.
And I've been telling all my friends about it. They're on the app.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/radio. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Get the Apple Leasing Advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
1300 The Zone is your home for the Round Rock Express.
What a great show we've had this week. It's been show on top of show. Get over to the podcast page if you missed any of it, and you better have us as your preset. That's right, folks. The new and improved iHeartRadio app is something to behold. You preset in your car, why not preset on your phone so you can have us anywhere you go and everywhere you go. Make sure you download the iHeartRadio app. Go to our podcast page. You'll see interviews with Goldberg. You'll see all the insiders that we have on. I want to thank Big Ben McDonald, who will be on the call for SEC Network, former LSU great. Will be in the booth with Keith Moreland today for SEC Network, a Longhorn and a Tiger will be on the call. And, of course, you can always listen to Texas Baseball right here with Craig Way and Roger Wallace tonight. First pitch, 7 o'clock. Speaking of first pitch, Major League Baseball started opening day in Tokyo, but on the mainland, Major League Baseball will start March the 27th. And I don't know if you are fond or have been privy to being told that you're going to go to the big leagues, but here is one of those heart-touching moments when a player gets told he's going to the big leagues.
Hey, Shane. What's up, guys? How you doing? Good. I'm good. Hey, that's good to see you. Take a seat, man. How you doing? All good? Yeah. Good, man. Good. So this is a time like where we gotta like start making some roster decisions, you know? And like the tough part is like with Rule 5 picks, like it just puts a lot of pressure on everybody, right? Pressure on you to perform, pressure on us to make a decision, and it can be tough. In most cases, in your case, it's not tough at all because you absolutely crushed it, and we're excited to have you come with us to Chicago, man. So you made the team. Congratulations. Unbelievable job, and we're just so excited about the prospect of you continuing your career with us at the big league level in Chicago. Yeah, I'm speechless.
That is outstanding. He got Rule 5, and I had a buddy of mine, one of my good friends, Steve Kent. He got Rule 5 as well, and it's a life-changing moment because Rule 5 players, it's a little difficult for them because they're challenging some guys that have already been in the organization, and if you aren't going to the next level in which you were Ruled 5, you get sent back to your old team. And so outstanding stuff. Shane Smith gets a chance to pitch in the big leagues, made it. And that's what it's all about. I told you this weekend is going to be crazy around the 40 acres. We've talked a lot about Texas baseball, but Texas softball has a big matchup against Auburn. And Coach Mike White spoke to the media along with one of his players talking about this big weekend.
Yeah, it's no sprint. It's a marathon for sure, and it's going to be a gauntlet. There's going to be some ups and downs throughout it, and we just got to make sure we take care of what we can take care of. It's fun watching the other games. There's such a dog-eat-dog kind of conference.
I think it is going to be a grind every single weekend, and I think especially that with Florida. Now we play Auburn, Mississippi State next, and I think Mizzou after that. Like it's not easy. It doesn't get any easier. It gets harder as we go through.
And that's what it's all about. So tonight they will be taking on the Auburn Tigers. It is one of those, it's SEC weekend, so we talk about it, and it's getting kind of, people are like, man, SEC is not like that. We heard from Big Ben McDonald and how important and crazy this weekend is going to be. They will play Auburn, the 23rd ranked team, Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time at Red and Charlene McCombs Field. That game will be on SEC Plus. The weekend series will be at 2 o'clock and then at 12 o'clock. This weekend is crazy. Texas baseball. First pitch is at 7 o'clock. That's why they're trying to make some spaces in here. And then tomorrow, you got Texas women's basketball playing at 8:45. So it is a lot going on the 40 acres. It's an exciting time where you have Auburn in town for softball. You got LSU, and they're coming deep to Austin, Texas. They're going to have fun. They're going to probably be cooking crawfish in the outfield. They're going to bring barbecue as Texas fans, occupy left field. I'm sure they're going to be out there all day having a great, great time because this is the Mecca when it comes to college baseball. You heard Ben McDonald talk about the 7 national championships that LSU have. Texas with 6 national championships. These are the blue bloods of college baseball. And it's an exciting time. Coach Schlossnagle, we asked him about the weekend, his rotation. And he was asked again about it at media availability yesterday. And he was talking about how Sunday is still up in the air.
My goal is to get to the point where I can stand here and tell you these are the 3 guys pitching, and Tuesday, ideally, the best pitching staffs except for last year, the best pitching staffs I've ever been a part of. You've had those defined players, but we're not there. We're not at that point in this program yet, and so we got to piecemeal it a little bit on the 3rd day.
Shout out to Ann Parker Coleman for those audio of the softball team and, of course, the baseball team. And again, if you missed any part of our interviews, because we had a lot of them this week, get over to the podcast page and check it out. There's also been news that 16,000 brackets on ESPN are now not perfect. Shocker by that. The madness began with McNeese State getting a big win yesterday during the NCAA tournament by beating number 12 seed, beating the number 5 seed, beating Clemson yesterday. And now the changes that are happening around college athletics. And I'm excited about today's matchups. Texas A&M and Texas Tech won yesterday as well, guys. So I wanted to make sure that I let you know that. I'm very impressed with Texas Tech, but it's going to be a fight to the finish. A big matchup this afternoon, Ole Miss taking on North Carolina. North Carolina, a team that everybody said should not be in the tournament. I now believe that they deserve to be in there, and let's see how they turn out. Duke will play today. We'll get the shows started today with Mississippi State and Baylor. Baylor Bears taking on Mississippi State at 11:15. You also have St. Mary's playing a little bit later. Alabama playing as well. Shout out to the Houston Cougars. They had a 38-point victory yesterday. They will take on Gonzaga, who defeated Georgia. And this thing is going to continue to roll. I want to thank all my guests. I want to thank Marcus. Big Mark, we know you're getting it down over there, boy. We'll be ready for you next week as we bring you the morning kickoff. I want you to enjoy the weekend. I want you, if you can get out to the ballpark today or to the gym tomorrow night, just remember, be careful, have a good time, and don't lose your mind because there's going to be a lot of traffic around the 40 acres. And just remember this, don't believe everything you see because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.
Important Social Security news. President Trump's Doge chief, Elon Musk, says Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. And he says there's so much fraud, it's the big one to eliminate. Now, Rob Finnerty is on Newsmax tonight, warning that your Social Security could be in danger. Already, Doge is slashing